Good afternoon. My name is Richard Ring and I'm CFO of the UK and Canadian operations of Appetito. In addition, I'm also Retail Operations Director for a number of our businesses. Now, the purpose of this video is to tell you how the fact that I studied languages has been a very substantial benefit to me in terms of forging my career both at Appetito and at other places. Appetito is an international food business. The UK business employs about 1,200 people, and my team numbers around about 500 or 550 people in the UK. I also have a small team working for me in our Canadian business. When I took this job at Appetito around about 13 years ago, one of the prerequisites was that the post holder, the job of financial director at that time, had to speak German. If you can imagine the total number of potential finance directors out there in the market, there must have been hundreds and hundreds who could have done the finance job. However, the number of people who could have done the finance job but also had the languages was very, very limited. So the fact that I was able to speak German fluently as part of my degree in German at French at Bath University meant that I had a massive advantage when applying for the role at Appetito, and it was a clear differentiator between myself and the other candidates. Effectively, it meant that I'd massively reduced the competition in terms of people going for the job that I eventually secured. In terms of my day-to-day work at Appetito, I'm able to converse freely with my German colleagues, something that hardly any of my UK colleagues can do. And that represents a substantial benefit. It means I work on project teams, both in Germany and in the UK, that require people who have a degree of competence in language. And it's, again, not something that other employees of Appetito have, the skill to communicate. This also means that it's easier for me to get promoted because, of course, the German company, we're German family owned, want people who can speak languages and speak languages fluently. And at board meetings, when my German colleagues go off into a corner and start to speak German about how the UK business is performing, I'm actually able to tell my UK colleagues exactly what they're saying and what we should be doing and perhaps doing differently. So all in all, a big benefit. But I ended up at Appetito, as I say, around about 13 years ago. I started off studying German and French to A-level, and prior to that I studied Latin and Spanish to what was then O-level standard. So I had a good grounding in languages. And when it came to my degree, I decided to do a degree in German and French with economics. I came out of that degree and then wondered actually what I was going to do with that degree, how useful it was on its own. And what I decided was to marry my ability in languages with an ability in business. So I trained to be a chartered accountant. The other option I thought about was law. And again, there are a relatively limited number of people who are chartered accountants and indeed lawyers who are able to speak languages fluently. And if you can speak those languages fluently and couple them with another skill, then you will be in great demand from an employer and you will be able to stick out very substantially from the crowd. So if I had a word of advice for you, I'd say that languages isn't just a route down into teaching and other really obvious paths. It's actually got the ability to set you apart from the crowd, to make you different from the competition and to make you succeed where others can't in your career. Good luck.